Number 1. Just watch me practice this last piece of knitting. Then I am defeated, Vin. Stop turning around again. Trying to practice knitting medicine in your hands. People are hurting again. Look at the 4 words behind the noise. Try to dance. Don't he give up a. Master try to get up a. Master song who has the will. Please take a full bow from us. Send out the jade. Listen to a noise behind your back. Most likely, he took off the mask of pain. In my eyes. With a pleasant smile. This situation is what he wants. Just like that. A later act of his can shake the masses. Except 173 retaliation. Seeing people in the audience constantly supporting. Probably the most serious contempt. Cold boy. This private use of the public doesn't work. Even if you raise up the waist below. To save you. They don't have this ability either. And the old man has made a great proclamation of the city, ha ha ha. This time the winner of the 3rd round of knitting. And your son's head is the old man's. Hear this word. People tend to get scared. Hurry and shout out loud. On the contrary, Hongfuth and Van Heer smiled kindly. We can finally destroy the threat. But most probably I didn't notice. With a smile, she said, oh. Well, that's not sure. He suddenly sniffed at the fire. In serious hands, the fire immediately disappeared. I think it's probably funny for 2 hours. To say ha ha ha. Too afraid a recent elder. Infected with typhoid. Seriously look at the fire, scattered in the air. Angry gritted teeth. The low eyes looking at why. Old man rotten boy. I will have to kill you today. Take your words seriously and become a lawyer. Fight towards the worst. No one has yet hit down. The city appeared in front of him. The most common. His cold eyes looked serious. Seriously, elder. This place is the Bachkan church of my dance floor. If you want to cause trouble, please leave immediately. See the person in front of you. Seriously, get your hands back immediately. Still angry on the face. Point your hand to the surest side and scold. The owner is not an old man who wants to mess up. That kid broke the rules. To mess up the old man's knitting. Most people are not afraid right now. He looked at her seriously with a provocative smile. I made a mess. I still want to stand there and not admit it. The more serious you think, the more angry you are. Cold eyes say here the whole school in the world. So many people see it with their own eyes. The old man's 5 pieces of lindan were immediately trained. It's because of one of your sneezes. I didn't have to say that before. I've recently had a cold. It's unintended. Most probably shrugs and refuses to give an opinion. Casually say. Damage, there's a high-level trick scene with welding fever sow. This is the most likely time in my eyes. Smile provocatively, you are done 30. There is only 7 products for knitting. You shot out the translation. Don't allow Lao Tzu to get infected with typhoid. He just finished. Be serious and transparent. Ra is waiting for him here. You pretend for half a day. It's because he's trapped here. The more I think about it, the more I can swallow this. That's why we make him. Counterattack excuse. He couldn't resist a word. Then he took a deep breath. Trying to stay calm, grinding my teeth. Good boy, you have talent. That sneeze is so damn good. Just right, sprayed into the old man's last fusion fire. He burned Lindan under a great fire. It can't fuse and explode. Ha ha ha, no, tiger is a knitting genius. Even a sneeze can be sprayed like that. The old man is so submissive. I am sure you will laugh for 2 hours. You say that you and I are both masters. I'm not sure if it's particularly interesting. You see, you are a medicine man. We are the best. When you practiced knitting, I caught a cold. I can't stand being serious anymore. Generalized large cross-section. Don't tell her you have the flu. Stop serious immediately, turn around. Back to his kill. If you continue here, fighting with the most evil, I'm afraid he won't be able to move forward. Give him a fight. In front of everyone, play. The real you will be him. Wait until the serious is gone. They come from behind. Just enough for 2 people to hear. Can my husband tell me who the last one is? She just finished. Perhaps most surprisingly, you already know. To shake his head. On his face full of hope, he didn't know. Waiting for you. Give me an explanation. I heard the 2 words most likely to be a chicken. I can't help but shake one. Rushed towards her to explain the AI. Don't call it that. The owner here has a misunderstanding. This will wait until later. I'll kick the old man first. Then he turned and left. His back is almost always wanting to run away from the city. He watched his body leave. In the eyes appeared the 7 rays of hope. He is not like another man. Why is he not interested in her at all? Maybe she's not really that attractive to you. So, if it is someone else, with the beauty of the city, he will also be willing to let her call towards husband for the rest of her life. The one you want to call the worst. A careless practitioner of magic. Nothing had ever stopped him before. Virginity and women are the greatest hindrance to the strong. Probably the most. He is the one who wants to return to the top. So girls love the school. It doesn't matter to him. He won't let her be an obstacle. On my way. Very quickly the world must have returned to the place of knitting. He looked back in disdain and asked the boy, "What are you back for?" "Practice knitting a word." Most likely, he looked seriously. In my heart I can't help but feel. Serious tongue. He is not a tiger, he is the first monk of heaven. To be so irritated, but I was able to calm down in a moment. That kind of mentality is really rare. Hear wise answer. And yet again, he pouted his lips with contempt. Laughing, he said, "Knitting practice. Even though you broke an old man's crochet. But at your speed, I couldn't hope to get inside. But not very crazy, Sao. Say anything to anyone. I can bring you down to this position. Put your hands up. But even if the old man doesn't succeed, someone else will practice this. They are not you. Ha ha ha. Until then, the Holy Spirit will kill you. As always, you can safely enter the match of King Dawn. His word just ended. The police immediately startled. Worry urgently. Most likely, I don't even notice. Take a look at her. Then, he turned his eyes full of seriousness. Coldly said the old man. If you said you would always be in this position, no one had a chance to touch it. You can't feed anyone else. 170 for the most wise. It just ended suddenly. A hot fire rises. In the strongest hand. One finger snapped. The medicine immediately flew towards the paralytic in his hands. This is not too rare. It is impossible to compare with the King of Medicine, or the Celestial Masters. His fire retardant force is really far inferior. Very fast. On the top of my head there was a cold sweat. The face is a little unsightly. See this situation. I can't help but laugh, ha ha ha. Your son is rotten with your brother Vi. It's not enough to keep the fire going. You practice knitting like that, it's just looking for death. Hear this word. Most likely, his eyes were glancing at him. Laughing coldly, the frog sat at the bottom of the well. The old man is here for you to see. Where is the distance between you and me? Stop the fire in the strongest hand again. It's on fire. This time the fire got bigger. Put your energy into the paralysis. At the same time, most definitely in the eyes flashed crystal light. Hold the fire tightly in your hand. In the blink of an eye, the fire in the air suddenly disappeared. There's only smoke left in the audience. After the smoke cleared, everyone turned their eyes to it. I feel most definitely the red face standing there. In the hand still clenched into fists. People look at this action. Suspect or look at each other. Looking forward most of the time talking. Stand in the audience. I can't see what he's doing. Doubt about what just happened. Serious tongue. He looked at the hand of the strongest man. Suddenly laughing out loud, ha ha ha. What do you think you want to do? The result is not still destroy all the Sao drugs. It is most difficult to breathe. The face is a little pale. No matter what, the corners of his mouth crept up. The old man said provocatively, "Don't judge Lao Tzu by his taste. The results are not quite what you think." 5 products Lindon complete processing. The words that had just ended the whole school echoed in an astonishing sound. People can't believe screaming Saucan. What is this? Is knitting practice is not born, there is. At the same time, it includes the owners, Tendency, and Hong Fu Than Van. It's just as amazing. Eyes glaring at the bottom of the knitting platform. The most serious look. I don't understand his actions a little bit. How can this be Kier knitting? Where did this person come from? Knitting techniques, it can be so terrifying. Most likely, I saw the serious reaction. Frowning provocatively coldly said the old man. The most ancient secret the wise man has ever heard of. You see, old man. That's the difference between you and me. The distance between the most Tendency and the king of medicine. The difference between one heaven and another. But, seriously, I can't escape the surprise right now. Still standing there bewildered. A sentence is not objectionable, the most sure-looking eyes. But over here, most likely the world has turned towards the small still. And then he threw the medicine at her. Speak softly. Sorry, Vi is not enough. You can only train one of the 5 great spiritual leaders. The worst is not achieved. It doesn't affect my ranking. Pick up the knitting medicine in hand. Urinal trembling a little. But very quickly regain calm declared. Eject. Master General, 5 high-quality preparation Lin Dan successfully. The winner of this round. Upgrade to the final round of Dan Duang. The wine just ended. Most likely, he suddenly turned around, 2 hands outstretched looking at everyone. The robe fluttered in it. The atmosphere boldly proclaims out loud. As long as you stand in this position, no one can stand up anymore. In the blink of an eye, everyone was moved. Started screaming for Master Song. Master Song. This moment, the contest is not over, but in everyone's heart. Most likely the world has truly become the King of Dawn. On the 9th floor, to hear the sound of cheering in the audience. Look at the most enthusiastic people supporting track. Thank heaven. Yang shook his head in exclamation. Where is this boy really going? They're all big characters. If there's definitely a hegemony in the rebellion. The 9-year-old next to me also agreed. Voice over animation. Ha ha ha. Even if it's peaceful. The rise of this boy. It's just a matter of time. The old man knew he was no ordinary man. But every time we meet, it still surprised the old man. But the tendency in the heart. It's a mess right now. Looking at the strongest shadow muttered a sentence. I don't know this kid. How great the potential is, after all. Until this moment, she just discovered only this man. He is the most reliable and trustworthy. But she bears the responsibility of the entire dance. All the women who own this place. It's absolutely impossible to trap that powerful atmosphere of why. Look at everyone's reactions. 2 hands shout out, don't call, please be quiet. But oh, one listened to her. The crowd below was still roaring. Suddenly, the most powerful man slowly raised his hand. Everyone's eyes turned to. In the blink of an eye it became silent. Look at this situation. He pleases your lips and respects my face. Other knitting practices are still practicing knitting. Please be quiet. And the word just ended. Everyone is on the same page, according to him. The sound of shouting is gone. Looking at everyone listening like that. I can't stop crying inside. This is the land of AI. This man's call is too strong. At the same time upstairs in the west. Hong Fu Than Van face stopped in. 2 eyes flashed close and stared at the most sure. I can't stop screaming in my heart. The higher the reputation of this boy. Working with him is harder. As a result, he absolutely won't let it show up. He must bring down his reputation. Can only beat him in knitting. You need to do this point. Of all the people here, we can only rely on the King of Medicine. While Serious Tongue is still bewildered and trembling, people are digging here. I took the opportunity to finish my medicine in hand. From the moment I saw it, I immediately announced. Peach Don Neng made 5 high-class Lin Don. Finished in the final round of Don Vuong. But it seems that at the same time, he is making a statement. Seriously, this side is not finished. The other side is just a little slower. Has finished knitting medicine. Speak gracefully again. Strict 5 high-class Lin Don. Refining completed. Surely the one beside leisurely looked. Could not hide his malicious look towards Game Tongue. Sneering old man. You don't have to say this round. Want to be number 1 this star. This time even your top cannot be kept. Lao Tzu today is the one who practices the zither with 175 heart and soul. Most certainly just finished speaking. Game Tongue is holding back his anger. Shake the person immediately. Cursing in heart. This person wants to disturb his mind. So he cannot continue to practice alchemy. But now he was too late. Mentality is not as strong as before. Now try, but afraid it will be too late. Moreover, this person kept chattering in his ear. Makes him really unable to concentrate. At the same time, Ta Thien Duong on the upper floor kept laughing loudly, with the words of Track Nat Fam. Haha, I consider this kid to be impressed. This Poison King. No matter how you say it, you can be considered a great person. But unexpectedly here was forced to such a miserable level. Then this young master feels a little sorry for him. The peony owner and the flower owner glanced at each other. From now on, they witnessed the actions of Zhuo Yifan. Go through some surprises. At this point they really want to know. Who is this young man? Thinking, the owner of the peony house looked curiously at Long Nine and said, "Nine, please don't keep us guessing. Who the hell is this fake Tongingok? Is not the prince of any world. Even an inner disciple of any sect. Go out for a tour of Sao. The family, haha. These 2 words, family, how to be worthy of that scary teenager Kier. Long Nine thought, then shook his head and said, that kid is nothing but a firefly. Really not worthy of the 2 words noble family. As for the sect, I have never heard of it. General on this guy. Are all unanswered questions? Hear this. Then HOA landlord was surprised and spoke up. Even 9 uncles do not know. So why do you trust him so much? Ta Thien Duong listened to their conversation from the side. Heard these 2 words, trust again. Smirking, mocking trust. Even if we believe, I also cannot trust him. You guys have never seen this kid's real face. A second ago he was still putting his arm around my shoulder and calling me brother. 1 second later can sell you. Flip faster than flip book. If she trusts him completely. I don't even know how I died. You guys are unbelievable. The world can be so heartless. Now I think it's time for him to betray Ngung Ni. Remember that contemptuous smile and that icy gaze. In the heart will have nameless cold intention. He just finished speaking. The 2 landlords could not help but be surprised. This teenager, how, in Ta Thien Duong's mouth is scary to this extent. 1,000 times they could not have imagined. But Don Don still did not believe it. Shout out in protest. You always say my husband is your friend. But you slander him behind his back like that. Isn't that some kind of betrayal, Sao? Ta Thien Duong listened to her questioning, shook his head and calmly said, I was slandering him. What we say is true. Really I like this point of him not fake. If this person is really the person Ta Thien Duong says, say he really not worthy to be called brother. Call any AI. But he was able to be friends with the elder of the potential. Long Kak, and the son of the Sword Marquis's mansion. The owner of the peony house asked the person in confusion. Why are you still friends with him? Hear this. Long Nine and Ta Thien Duong suddenly laughed out loud. Haha, why can't we be friends? They received his benefits and favors. Help him achieve his goal. Their relationship is like that. Then HOA landlord saw them like that. Even more suspicious. Isn't this very contradictory? Thinking then thank Thien Duong towards Mo Du Lao Chu. Explain the HOA palace. Trustworthy and worthy of trust or not are two different things. He is not a trustworthy person, but absolutely a brother worth entrusting. Just because he has this power. Try asking if today, without this unreliable friend, our peer, how do you guys deal with this old man? The words of thanksgiving to the heavens just ended. The two castle owners simultaneously awakened. He said no wrong. If it weren't for this unreliable friend. Stan say there is a match today. They have collected, since placing my trust in Hong Fu Than Van. At the banquet that day. If this person does not appear. Their flower garden. I'm afraid it will quickly collapse in Tae Kim Tung's hands. Don't wait for them to get in spirit. Ta Thien Duong continued to speak up. Without him, I'm afraid I've lost the person I love most in my life. So his debt of gratitude, I feel like I can never repay it all in this life. So at the party that day, he just opened his mouth. I didn't say a word. Risk, it can bring about a fatal calamity for the sword servant. Help you dance for a long time. The three people who danced for a long time once again rolled their eyes in amazement. I can't believe that time. Swordsmen do not calculate with them. It's because the worst. I was reluctant to close my eyes. I can't believe that the Dragon Ball is one of the seven. Not in the words of a boy. If only he was in the world. With her unruly temperament, it could be to the death again. Now in the audience. Most likely, he suddenly sneezed. In my heart I can't stop thinking, surely the serious guy is scolding him in his heart. Bad words, I think. The eyes start to cool down. He laughed softly with a cold howl. Wait a minute. I will take him out of this game. Then take your fake life. I seriously don't know. Most likely, they are planning to take his life. He's confused right now and doesn't know what to do. With the speed of a couple of backwards, it is most likely to be constantly harassed. He can't get over it at all. Maybe he lost a boy today. To die without hands or sow. He's not really committed. But he couldn't calm down as usual. To figure out how to deal with it. I don't know when. In the serious hands appeared the magnet. He hurriedly stabbed himself in the head. Make yourself calm down again. Most likely, I looked at this action. In his mouth in amazement muttered the acupressure chamber. Smiling for 2 hours, probably the most contemptuous lips. Even if he doesn't bother now. He's not in time either. But suddenly right now. Seriously, calm down. Concentrate the fire in your hands. Start to continue training non. That right then and there, the sound of the whisperer echoed in his ears. Agent 5 products are completing the 9th rank. The most surefire words are happy. This old man didn't make it in time. Now there is only one place. At his speed, I'm afraid he won't make it. He smiled and firmly held the victory in his hand. But seriously right now, give me a crochet again. And then spat out a sip of blood. He didn't notice either. In the hands continued to practice knitting. Very quickly a medicinal tablet appeared. He hardly put up the middle stitch, shouting loudly, 5 finished knitting products. Next door also quickly announced, strict old man, 5 products listed successfully made. Advance to the final round of Danvuang. I am most likely to see the actions of the serious. And yet, he can take out his heart and practice knitting. To keep up the speed. Win the last place. I can't believe this old man went inside. You can risk your life like that. But with a blood thinner. He's using his heart to activate the drug. The principle of great trade like that. Even in the final round of Danvuang. I can't practice knitting anymore. I think it's most likely that your eyes flashed. Said coldly. The devil, you've half stepped into the coffin. Acceptance 176 exposed brunette gas. Right now I don't want to continue watching. Other monastic practices. Coldly claim 10 rounds and the inner ring has appeared. The rest are eliminated. Just set out. It makes everyone go up in the air again. It's impossible to think out loud. People in the round 0 to 10 people sao. There are only 10 people now. Peeing face not protesting. Take a look at that one. I can honestly say I never talked about it. The number of participants in the tournament is 20. It's just these front 10 guys. That's right, there are 20 top ovens that are superior. Hear this word. Everyone thought carefully for a long time. I found out exactly as she said. The most sure thing is to understand. You are obviously misleading. But this is not wrong either. No matter what the rules and ethics are. Open the back door for the strong. Right now on this side. There was a monk who was not willing to speak up. Wait for me to arbitrate, and seriously, he's just a little bit away. What we've trained is the 5 great spiritual qualities of Dawn. He's only trained in 5 Danish products. I'm supposed to be the 10th person in the ring. Surprisingly, when he finished, most likely the world screamed and shut up. You didn't hear the rules. This time it's about speed, not quality. Even the knitting requirements are not clear. Has practiced knitting. Autumn is worth it. And my face is screaming like a mad dog. Don't tell me you were one before. One after training Lin Dawn. Even if you practice at the same time. The old man shouted out first, and he won. Everyone rolled their eyes in wonder. Before this reaction of the most ordinary. Everyone here can see clearly. The most serious and serious opponent. I can take this old man out. But now he speaks out for serious Joe. That's really surprising to everyone. Don't wait for everyone to be amazed. Most likely the world is emitting gas again. Speak up coldly. What do you think in your heart? The old man understood. Not wrong, he really wanted to take this old man out. Like that old man who's been practicing knitting. Lost half a life. Finally stay here. Then Lao Tzu's conspiracy was also cancelled. What else to say? But in the final round, Danvuang. The old man will still win. But during this time, I will not allow this old man, under your argument, forced to leave. If so, it can only be an insult to our practice. The whole school was as quiet as a newspaper. After a moment of applause, the same cheers start to sound. Everyone reverently looks to the most certain side of the world. A life of masters. Master Song is a brilliant light. Inhuman atmosphere. Send the jade. Even seriously, this time also looks the best with different eyes. But I didn't say a word. Turn around and walk away. Long Nine and Wan Duong. I also look at him with different eyes. Ri has such a side. Even if he is unscrupulous, he does every crime. But I can't say that the young man. I can only say evil. But this evil part is evil generous, evil hero. Above the noble guest, Hong Fu Than Van sighed. To exclaim a sentence. This boy is a hero. We are not equal to people. 5 elders, the Lord and the Lord looked at each other. In my heart silently agree. But also one I dare to speak in words. A long time ago, God finally spoke. The 2 boys saw that boy. I want to change it to Sao. Hong Fu Than Van slowly put on his hands. In the eyes a little closer, and more intense. A mountain cannot have 2 tigers. If he was a hero, why stay under the guidance of others? So the sooner we get rid of it, no matter what. Even if Bodhisattva doesn't come to you today, this person must also be eliminated. The man now has a feeling. If we don't eliminate this scourge today, the day after that boy, he will be a strong enemy to my kingdom. Hear this word. The 2 people here trembled at the same time. That the crown was already the head of the 7 kingdoms. But now I'm scared. A third-rate family boy. Hong Fu Than Van tried to fight with the most evil. To this extent. To prove he would actually become a threat to the emperor. This time on the radio. The teacher was screaming just now. At this time, he bowed his head to the most ordinary track. Master Song is right. You shouldn't be in this top 10. Previously, I expected people to be generous. I can now feel the atmosphere of Master Song. It's embarrassing. This man immediately left the training ground. Silently look at this scene. Not out of admiration in my heart. Speak up and say, Master Song, it is true that you are subservient. You're an admirer. I think this is the most ridiculous thing to hear. How can you wear your clothes? Compared to taking this, he prefers to use his fists. He practices magic. I've always used force to talk. Never talked about love. So these things about taking this man's uniform, clearly not his style. A moment later I looked at everyone. Slowly speak up. The great masters knit into the duel round. The last king. Congratulations to you. There will be a chance to get the ultimate reward of the long dance. Our 9 Bodhisattva mascots. Now I'd like to invite you based on your previous rankings. Stand in the corresponding position. After that, the teachers also moved at the same time. It's just that he's standing there not moving. Right now, the woman who walked next to him provoked him. Say, old man, you should give up your position. I seriously see you coming. Laughing for an hour, she said with a cold breath. Are you in a hurry? It wasn't that she threw the old man down. Already said. He turned his eyes to the location of the troll. Most of the time, the will to fight.